It seems to be, and I know it really doesn't affect, people like you. Well, I mean, people like us, really, but like definitely more so you, because I know that you haven't just limited yourself to, these areas, right? But you're more of a Fort Worth native, right? You're more of so it tends to be this conversation with, I guess, and I've heard it a little bit over the time, Fort Worth versus Dallas. You know what I'm saying? This conversation of, all the talent being in Fort Worth, but all the gigs in Dallas, and Fort Worth musicians don't really mess with Dallas musicians, and stuff like that. Like, what's your take? You being a Fort Worth native, but being in Dallas a lot. Like, what's your take on that?
I think it's funny.
That whole conversation.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is funny. I mean, they're just different types of people.
Yeah.
Just in general, Dallas and Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Right next to each other.
Right.
Night and day.
Right.
That's really what it boils down to. From the musician aspect, I heard about it like growing up.
Yeah.
I heard, bits and pieces of it, and I guess I've experienced it. Maybe I'm still trying to figure some people out.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, for the most part, I'm just all about music, man. If you call me, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna play.
Regardless where it's at.
We're gonna get it popping. But I ain't never felt in competition with anybody, especially horn players. One, it's always only one of us on the gig. Whenever I ever did a gig with another saxophone player ever,
right,
there was no competition for me. It was always just me.
Right.
So, I don't know. I've always just felt like, even when there was other horn players, like I first met Jelani, the first thing we did was sit outside the Prophet Bar and just shed. Just me and him, wasn't nobody else.
Yeah.
And then we gave each other love, like, bro, you killing,
Yeah.
And now I see where he is now, he see where I am now, and it's still the same.
Yeah.
When we got together on Bobby's tour, that first night, it was just fire, just because we were so excited to play together again.
Talking about Bobby Sparks.
Yeah.
The legendary Bobby Sparks. That's what's up, man. Bobby Ray Sparks.
Bobby Ray.
Somebody else we got to get on the podcast, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I love to sit down and chop it up with him.
Yeah,
for sure. He's a funk connoisseur like myself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So how was that tour?
Man, that was fun. So the last one we did,
because y'all been on a couple together, right?
Yeah, we went on quite a few actually.
Yeah.
The most recent one we went to Europe, and I spent a lot of time in Germany for the most part. It was a lot of fun, man. That's all I can say. We had fun. We showed our ass. We played music. We made some great connections. Met some great musicians. Matter of fact, when I was in Switzerland, there was a cat that came out that reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, I heard you have issues with your iwi. I can make you this instrument that I'm making called a Nurad. Yeah, it's kind of like an iwi, but better." So,
okay.
I kind of got the connection to get an instrument that I could never get on my own,
right,
without doing that tour that, I
so,
did with them.
So, do you play it now, or?
No, it's been made. It's going to take a while.
Okay.
But yeah, once it get here, then I got to figure it out.
Okay.
They kind of recommend that you be a player if you're going to buy it.
Right.
'Cause it's some work, but I think once I get it and figure it out, it's so much you can do. Like, on the iwi, the way I chord is like holding notes and, but on the Nurad, I can just chord. I
Really?
can start competing with keyboard players a lot more, But then
I feel like you do that now anyway.
I got to train my mind to think like a keyboard player now. If I'm going to compete on that level, it's like me starting fresh, trying to catch up to where Louis is,
Yeah.
what he knows. So it's just,
Take that, Bobby.